Hey, it's Jeff from Bang Fitness. Recently our pal Tony Jumbo put up an article also referencing Greg Robbins talking about torso angle in a split squat. This is something we totally agree with, that we've been doing for at least 4 or 5 years now. So I feel like I'm pretty qualified to talk about it, and what I wanted to do is take the opportunity to get into a little more detail about how we set it up. So just to bring you up to speed, the discussion is, you know, what kind of torso angle do we want to have when we're in a split squat? A lot of people argue that we should have a vertical torso angle, but I don't know why. It really doesn't make any sense. If we can agree that you want to have a neutral spine, this isn't going to work. I'm in hyperextension right now, so just take a look. If I'm standing upright, good. If I move my hips back and the hip angle changes, my spine has to come with it. That's fine. There's no problem with that. It's you know, sort of a dynamic property. So this is where I'm going to be set up. We're going to agree on a couple concepts. We're going to agree that a split squat, or if you want to call it a static lunge, whatever, is essentially, it's a one-leg dominant activity. It's sort of a deloaded single leg movement. So we're helping a little bit with the rear leg. For the most part, we're going to bear as much weight as we can practically with good form on the front leg. So the way we'll set it up, or set up distancing, typically, is hip width and 90-90 here to start. Now I'm not going to go straight up from here. I'm going to roll my weight onto the forward leg, again bearing as much weight as I can. When we start, we'll typically talk about putting it in the heel, although as somebody's awareness grows, we can definitely spread it out a little more evenly over the whole foot. From here, the most important thing is, I think of a vertical angle of drive from my knee straight down, okay, maybe through the talus here into the floor. Boom. Okay, so when I come up, what I'm not doing, and what typically happens, is people shift back. And this is problematic, not so much for the movement here, but what follows, which is this anterior translation on the way down. Now, I don't really think that where the weight is in the foot, or heaven help us, our knees forward, I don't think that's an issue so much as long as the weight is moving straight down. It's really when the knee starts traveling forward, the weight travels forward in the foot, that we sort of unnecessarily increase the shear on the knee. So we get our position here, we come straight up, okay? And if anything else, we're thinking about it sort of a forward drive. So we'll drop the rear knee straight down, we'll drop the weight straight down here, and we can kind of think about almost like a forward sprint. And in this way, we're actually getting some active plantar flexion off the rear foot. We're getting a bit of a push. This is going to feed really nicely into a reverse lunge by the time we're going to get there. So we've got this weight transfer. I can't be on one leg and have control over my weight with a vertical spine like this. So I need this lean, so I'm in control the whole time. I can control, come down. It's obviously more hip dominant. It's a pretty good thing. I think it's really hard to beat that particular horse to death. The arguments for why we might prefer a more quad dominant style, I don't know. I mean, we can use it as sort of an assistance exercise for squats, for example. People will argue, well, if we have total, greater total range of motion, maybe it's more effective metabolically. Maybe, I don't know. I think the posterior chain is still the boss for that. But more than anything else, when we're trying to teach a movement to a beginner, we have to give them some unambiguous guidelines to follow. And if we have a lot of moving parts in this, it can get really confounding. So when I first watched Training Equals Rehab from Charlie Weingroff, a light went off because he talked about a vertical shin and why that might be potentially useful. So we played around with that for quite a while in the split squat, and it is really useful to teach beginners, although our default position, once they've got that, will actually be a little bit of a greater angle. That's fine, again, the weight stays put. If people struggle with that, we can always get them set up right in front of a bench. So we've just got this, same level of contact throughout. So if we see them fading, driving forward on the way up, or fading back on the way down, or vice versa, more likely they're going to run their knee into it. We'll just adjust accordingly. So it's not the end-all be-all. It's really a platform for building into other movements, whether it's lunging or rear elevated split squats, but creating an unambiguous set of checkpoints for people to follow that they can be certain they're doing well or performing well, we find really helpful for building people forward athletically and minimizing any kind of injury risk. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions, I encourage you to email me. Thanks a lot.